If you ever played The Sims 1, whether it was when it came out or now that it's been relaunched, you probably have played with both of these houses that I'm going to show you. One of them belongs to the newbie family, and as the name hints, was all about introducing you to the game. So it was sort of like a tutorial on how to play The Sims 1. And the other house is the first ever starter home of the Sims franchise. The cheapest house that was available in The Sims 1, and obviously the one you would move in any sim unless you wanted to build your own home. Obviously, my recreation of both these houses is going to be very different from the original ones. The Sims 4 is a completely different game. We have a lot more that we can do, but I tried my best to keep the layout and the spirit of these homes intact, while at the same time transporting them into a now much more modern game. So I hope you're excited, and let's get into it. So I think it's only fair to begin with the starter home. And in case you never played The Sims 1, basically this is the most affordable house that you can find basically in the entire game. And it's right there without any expansions, anything like that. It's pretty much a guarantee that every single player, once they made their first household and decided not to play with a townie, they would move their Sims in here. So, as much as it is a simple home, it is quite iconic, or at least I consider it quite iconic, being a house that I played on so many times. I don't think even if I tried, I could figure out exactly how many times I played in this house, how many times I extended it, how many Sims I moved in. It was pretty much every single time I started playing with a new family, this is where they would move in, unless they were, already like a couple with two kids, and this was way too small. So for my recreation, I used platforms to raise the house a bit. I didn't use a foundation because I wanted to use this wallpaper all around. The original home has just white siding, and I wanted to give it a little bit of detail, but I didn't want to have multiple layers between the foundation and then the wallpaper, and this is a way to sort of simplify it. So when you walk in, you arrive at the living, dining, kitchen area. Like I said, this is quite a small house. I tried to not spend too much money on decorations or clutter. Instead, I focused on more practical or substantial things, let's say. So I built a nice sized kitchen with upper cabinets. I made sure there was a TV, a bookcase, there's a laptop, and I added the new burglar alarm because aside from being new and part of the anniversary, this is a very, very, very uh, hallmark of The Sims 1. If it didn't have a burglar alarm, you would get robbed really, really often. Almost like an every night kind of thing. It was very, very, very recurrent in The Sims 1, which, was all part of the chaotic aspects of the game. As the living room, you have this sort of hallway slash bedroom. The bathroom is pretty simple, but I try to keep it with the exact same placements of things. Just, slightly elevated with a bit of clutter. And then with the bedroom, I try to honor the vibes a bit. I went with a blue carpet, which the original house had. And in general, I tried to go with a little bit of a blue tone energy over here. There's not a lot going on because it is a starter home, but I feel like it has enough furniture that it doesn't just feel completely empty and that cheap. In the back, what was originally a patio, I turned it into a little porch area. I put some sliding doors leading to it. I added two planters. There's an easel, a telescope, and then when you walk off, just over here, hidden away behind the chimney, you have the trash can. Like I said before, despite the fact that the house is small and relatively simple, I always found it iconic. So I'm pretty happy about how this turned out. I feel like I captured the essence, aside from obviously the layout and dimensions of the house. But at the same time, there's enough detail, enough improvements to the design that it feels appropriate for Willow Creek and also for The Sims 4. Now moving on to the other iconic house that every single Sims 1 player knows, the newbie family home. This house was a little bit trickier to bring it to life in the sense that because it's an L shape, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do about the roof. I really wanted to use a round wall in the right corner,
instead of just a diagonal wall like the original home. I felt like this was a little bit more organic, felt a little bit more modern and updated for The Sims 4. But then I was really torn about how to do the roofing. Initially, I was thinking of maybe going in a mid-century direction with some angled roofs, but I decided to go with the flat roof and then just give it some interest by placing the chimney in front and also by making the entrance sort of a more standout feature of the build. I tried my best to give it a little bit of a nod to details of the Sims 1 home. So there's a little bit of fencing in front. The outside of the house is still all red brick, and the placement and sort of size of the windows is very, very similar, but I went with a more mid-century kind of approach. So when you first walk in, you arrive at the living, kitchen, dining area, kind of like the previous home. But in this case, I altered it a little bit more because in The Sims 1, they didn't have a couch or sort of a living room setup. They had instead what was very typical, which was a 2 by 2 gigantic table, which pretty much took over the entire room. But luckily in The Sims 4, things are a little bit more appropriately sized. So I managed to fit in a living room space over here in the center. The kitchen is still in the back and it has a very nice size. And then I added the dining table here, keeping the iconic sort of radio on top of the dining room for some reason. That was always a detail that I found curious in the game, and I wanted to make sure I kept it here. I also used the new floor that came with the anniversary event. This is exactly the same floor that the newbies had in their Sims 1 house. So I definitely wanted to use it here. And in the bedroom, I also used the anniversary wood floor that was added to the game. The living space is not very big, but I do like the fact that I was able to give them a fireplace. There's still a TV over here. It still feels like a decent sized and proportioned room. Over here, close to the dining table, you have the bathroom. Fairly simple, nothing too much going on. And then in the bedroom, that's where I took a little bit more liberty in terms of the decoration, in terms of the style. So I went a little bit more mid-century, a little bit funkier. And aside from making it a bedroom, I made it sort of a bedroom slash office by giving them a desk, a computer, and then a bookcase over here. In the back, I kept their patio, which you can come to from the living and dining area or the bedroom. I did give them a little grill and a table over here. There's an easel and also a boxing bag, just to have a few skill building items, but not go too far into making decisions about what you feel like these Sims do, or if you don't want to play with the newbies, not lock in sort of the style of Sim that lives here too much. This one is not a starter home, but it is still fairly affordable. So if you don't want to play with the newbies, it will be easy enough for you to have your sim move in here after they made a little bit of cash. Or if you're playing with some cheats, you barely have to cheat for money to have your sims move in. Just like the starter home, I'm pretty happy about the result of this house. I think it honors the more iconic aspects of this house, the shape of it, the brick. So it really brings you to that image while at the same time not feeling like a boring replica or just out of place in Willow Creek. I also designed the house so that it goes on the small lot just next to the pancake house. I know this is the old version pre-update, but because there's the lore that the pancake family is sort of loosely based on the newbies, I thought it was quite appropriate for them to be living next door.
Okay, that's it for my two first recreations of homes from The Sims 1. I hope you like them. I hope that you can see that I tried to keep as much as possible the integrity and the vibe that they had, while at the same time, making sure that it's a very, very updated build. In case it's the first video of mine that you've stumbled upon, I'm recreating a lot of homes and families from The Sims 1, Sims 2, Sims 3, and bringing them all into a multiverse in The Sims 4. So if you're curious to see more, you can check out the videos that I have on my channel. In case you're interested in downloading them, both of these homes are available on my gallery. All you have to do is search my username, the PT Simmer, just like you're on YouTube, and you can find it there. They're both base games, so you don't need any packs to play in them. I hope you like them, but please let me know what you think in the comments here or in the gallery. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.